MakingStarWars.net.
Hello, comrades. I am Mikhail Zero. I can't even stick to it. I'm Jason Ward from MakingStarWars.net. And
bad time to be doing that, Jason.
Hopefully we don't have any random YouTube errors like we had the last couple of days. So anyways, today we're talking about Star Wars and what's going on with the Star Wars and why and how. Right? It sounds interesting, doesn't it, fellas? So what the big news of the day up front, though, is that they just announced that Ahsoka starts filming today. So today is the first day of Ahsoka shooting, and I'm gonna throw up a picture of what StarWars.com put on the Twitter, and then I'll show it to you, and you can look at it with your own eyes. Let me look at it with my own eyes. Wait, there it is. All right. So right there. So we got they're inside the volume right now. We got the Ahsoka chair with the little Ahsoka logo. Dave Filoni's really stupid fucking hat. Like the stupidest fucking hat ever. Like, honestly.
It's got the wolf dog.
I mean, we're in a fandom about, where people dress up like Chewbacca's, right? And walk down the street. So it's kind of hard to be judgmental on one hand, but there's, to me, just nothing more embarrassing than dudes dressing up like cowboys when they're men in the modern times that don't ride horses to work. You know what I mean? It's so fucking cheesy to me.
Yeah, I get having to wear something to keep the sun out of your face, I get it.
Like Ray-Bans, maybe.
He's indoors.
Yeah.
What I don't know. Like I've never been a fan of it, but like I'm also less a fan of that cap with the glasses, trying to look like you're some soldier from combat, some station in Afghanistan or some shit.
Yeah.
Like I'm just as uncool with that. Let's just go back to top hats or the big cap with the feather in it.
Oh, that's
the
cool.
Barbosa, the Captain Barbosa.
The Yankee Doodle, as we call it here in the United States. Yeah. It was a bizarre shaving accident, Luke. Every now and then, you're kind of like you're using the electric razor, like kind of trying to, get it down a little bit.
Don't
and
lie.
You do a little too much. And
don't lie. You did that so you can get that shot. You snuck on the set. You shaved the beard. They couldn't tell who you were, and that's how you got that.
I'm like, hi, I'm Ahsoka Tano. Who wants to watch my Milky Whites bounce while I swing my lightsaber, boys? And they were like, ooh, and I just walked by and I grabbed the script and walked out. It was like a Bugs Bunny cartoon. It was like, it totally worked. So, Ahsoka spoilers starting tomorrow.
Bro season, Chad season, bro season, Chad season. Like, all right.
Yeah. So, so anyways, though, so we got that one, right? We got Ahsoka started, which we could talk about as the show goes on today. I'm just going to throw some of the stuff into the mix because why the hell wouldn't we, right? And then Max isn't here yet because she's always fashionably late, but she first sent me that she's eating some goldfish with Grogu and Baby Yoda on it, or Baby Yoda and Din, and then she sent me this one with Ahsoka on it. Look at Ahsoka. For all your snatching adventures. And but this next one I actually really am excited about, actually. Obi-Wan Kenobi Frosted Flakes, motherfuckers. Look at that shit. Star Wars Obi-Wan. I like that logo.
Great.
That Obi-Wan Kenobi logo looks cool though, I gotta say. And then
the two-tone, the gold.
And then you got your light side original and dark side chocolate.
So. Lucas would have given us shitty droid cereal. Disney's ruining everything. Just think about it.
Jeepers creepers.
All I see is the Russian flag.
Oh, yeah, I see it too. You're right. That's why I'm Mikhail Zero. So yeah, that's kind of what's going on with the old Star Wars news for the day. Now, big spoilers in this episode may be revealed. So if you don't like spoilers for Star Wars, then go away. And we don't want you here. No offense, but you're not going to have a good time.
Get out of here.
Get out of here. We don't want you. You hear me? We don't want you here. So you've been warned.
We don't want you. Go away.
We did it. We did our. So that's why I made the title of this video a question. And that's, can Luke Skywalker see a lightsaber before he does in A New Hope? You know what I mean? Can he do it? And I did edit the video down a little bit here because I wanted to make
fans have been having this argument for decades now. Like,
right.
This has been so important to Star Wars fans around the world that we've been wondering this since 1977.
So if you want to talk over it at all, by all means, go ahead and hit the unmute button in the corner, Rob. And so I'm going to play this video here. It's about might get flagged. I don't know. 26 seconds, but I did chop it up, so we'll see. Here it goes.
Father wanted you to have this when you were old enough, but your uncle wouldn't allow it.
He's like, "What the fuck are you talking about?
Obi-Wan on some damn fool.
What is that? What's that? A dildo?
What is it?
I don't know what's in there.
Father's lightsaber.
Yeah, you just say what is it?
Jedi.
Yeah, what is it?
As clumsy or random as a
That's Reva's. That's Luke's.
An elegant weapon, but a more civilized age.
I mean, you obviously have to bend reality.
He just lets him swing his shit around like it's fucking fun.
But also, I mean, Luke isn't like Luke. I'm just throwing it out there though. Luke isn't like, what is this strange contraption in your hand? I cannot. Luke literally takes it, and turns it on, and swings it around, turns it off.
Look, in a post episode 2 fucking Star Wars, right? Had these things been made in order, he would have given Luke the little itty bitty fucking one, right? The little bitty fucking youngling. You get to use this.
The helmet.
You don't know what the fuck you're doing.
Put the helmet on, asshole.
Yeah. Obi-Wan keeps the real one. You get the little one. Your father killed a bunch of kids to get that. So
I used to use this to strain my spaghetti. Now it's your helmet. He puts it on. But yeah. So does it break canon? Does it break past expectations? It certainly does. Does it break the canon? I gotta say, looking at the clip, no. He goes, what is that? Like I said, it could have been a picture. It could have been anything. And once again, I'm playing devil's advocate. These things were not made in order. They weren't made with anything else in mind. There was no grand plan to make all of this stuff connect. So pieces are having to interface here. And I knew the second that I heard Reva goes back for Luke that this was going to be an issue. I knew immediately this was going to be what became the big thing about the series. And I was like, I don't know. And for the record, when I first heard it, I was like a little bit like, do I like that? Am I okay with it? Regardless of what the rules are. And if you don't, it's completely your opinion. You're fair to feel that way. We actually haven't seen it. We do have to be fair to it. We are getting ahead of ourselves and we are consuming spoilers and leaks. And in doing so, we got to kind of roll with it. You know what I mean? We got to see how it feels, how it's executed before you go and you start making up your final opinion. But in terms of this, they actually did not contradict any canon. Like right now, on like somebody on Twitter is like reporting my news third hand through screenshots, which really sucks when people do that, by the way. Even if it was the third hand person, you're like, you don't put a link to them, you're just stealing their work, like what they brought to the fandom. And but there's like all of these people just going like, oh, this breaks canon, this is retconning the OT. And oh, I like this one. Where is it from? Where's the
Disney source? I'm no Disney apologist, but this fucking drives me nuts because these people are the same ones that I encounter, Jason, that tell me the prequels, the story's actually good. And I'm like, all right, but like fucking Yoda was the one that trained Obi-Wan Kenobi until you open up the Phantom Menace and look, he created another white guy, that trained him, well, no, see, when he was young, no, he didn't mean when I was fucking 8, this guy taught me how to use a little dinky lightsaber. He meant Yoda was my fucking master, like that's it. That's it. We should be way past this by now. Like Lucas already set the stage for Return of the Jedi from a certain point of view. Like Like he literally tells Luke, your father was murdered by Darth Vader, you know? Mm-hmm. And then 2 movies later, Luke goes, you lied to me. We're way beyond this, folks. This day is you're in the wrong trilogy if you want consistency, you know?
Agreed. Yeah. I mean, that's ultimately, but at the same time, it's not breaking the original trilogy. It's like we have a real problem with people who believe one thing because they heard it or they interpreted it one way, and then taking in new information that then changes that. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Look, what bugs me about it is I just don't want this actress fucking harassed or bothered or chased off the fucking face of the planet because some fucking racist Star Wars fucking nerds can't fucking just chill the fuck out over a story detail. Mm-hmm. Meanwhile, they tell me I gotta watch fucking 8 seasons of Clone Wars to understand what happened in between 2 fucking films. You know what I mean? Like,
you do. You sound
and you get it. You know, like, all right, man.
You are wrong.
All right.
You're wrong. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you do. You're right and you're wrong. You were right and then you were wrong. It's
fair.
It's like
I accept that.
Yeah, no, I mean the thing about it is if you went, I mean, here's the thing though, is if you want to make it not work for you, like the I don't know if he's doing that. I think most people think he is, but the Den of Nerds guy did a video where he just flips out about it. Like literally flips out about it. I mean, we could play it probably. We'll probably sift it if we wanted to. But, hey Max, how's it going?
Good.
That air conditioner is totally rocking though.
Hold on.
Yeah. Anyways, I'll put Max back in this 1 second. But anyways, what you end up with here is that is like
Max
the
needs
guy
a hydro spanner. Hold on.
Right?
Okay. Can you hear me?
I think so.
Better?
I can hear your air conditioner. I can hear you the whole time. Yeah, I can just, but I hear your air conditioner. That's what I hear. Yeah.
Hold on, I'll be back.
Okay. What we end up with here is are you able to take in new data that changes a held conception? Like he's like really mad about it. Like he's like freaking out about it.
These people are freaking out over CRT, Jason. You think they're gonna handle this?
Well, I don't.
Some shit they didn't even know existed 6 months ago. It's the same audience.
Wait! You can't say that when I'm talking about a real person, though. I don't know if he's freaking out about that, so we can't put that on here.
I'm not talking about that person. I'm talking about the general audience, right?
Yeah, I'm talking about
that when I go
though,
through YouTube,
so we got to be careful. I don't want to do that.
Okay, I'm not talking about Josh. I don't know this guy. I've never even heard of the fucking dude. Okay. What I'm trying, honestly, folks, I told people I get my Star Wars news from Jason, and now I watch Meg. Like that's it. That's it. So, what I'm trying to say is, I do know ever since, like when we report on something, right? Like I'll click on the video to check comments, so then YouTube feeds me other Star Wars channels, right?
Oh, right.
Oh, you like Star Wars, and it's all this hate, and I go, nope, and you know, and it's the same people who are just like, no, liberals are ruining Star Trek and Star Wars. Like I don't understand where the conservative movement in the 70s and 80s was like, that George Lucas is our guy, you know?
Yeah. That San Francisco liberal, he really represents us.
Like Marin County.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I wish they would have named her Berkeley just to really piss them off. You know,
Marin County is conservative for San Francisco. To be fair.
Oh, I know. Only reason why I know that though is because of the last season of Too Close for Comfort when it became the Ted fucking night show and he moved to Marin County. And it's like, here's San Francisco. Here's somewhere richer. It pans down to the left, you know?
Yeah.
It's like all these boathouses and yachts and shit.
So Max, you're probably the most easygoing person that I know where you're like, well, they'll be like, hey, guess what? I'd be like, what? I'll be like, they literally eat turd sandwiches in Star Wars now, and you're like, well, let's see what it looks like. like you're you know, no, and that's good. I think that's
shut up.
No, I think you have like a healthy attitude about stuff. Like, well, let's see how it goes. Let's see what it is. Let's see how it sits. I think things like usually when you come, you're like pretty open person, then you're like, okay, like a couple of months later, you're like, I don't know about that. Like you know what I mean? You want to see how it all falls. And I think that's
her
the
volume.
right way to go.
Sorry, guys. Her volume is super high or you're lower. I don't know which it is.
High or low? But,
is it high or low?
I think
high, low.
The chat's gonna have to tell us. They're the ones listening.
Yeah, well, this is as loud as I can get, so you guys will have to turn down if it goes the other way. No, but anyways, I was gonna say was so Max, when you found out that Reva goes back to Lars Homestead and ignites the lightsaber in front of Luke, like, I'm gonna kill you.
Mm-hmm.
Did you have any kind of reaction to that? Did you have what was your like inside, deep down, where it feels good or it feels bad? What you feel in a little heart of yours?
I didn't feel anything because I know she doesn't kill him.
Right.
So,
but I mean, the idea of Luke seeing a lightsaber, does it bother you? Because we did assume our assumption was the first time he turns it on is the first time he's ever seen anything like that.
Right.
And then now we know he has seen something like that. But also, I mean, in the Star Wars universe, I mean, seeing a laser sword, I think you could also be like, is that amazing when you've seen laser guns? When you've seen lasers and spaceships and shit like that? And then my thing that I would say is, if you want to make it work for yourself, Reva has a double-bladed, half-moon-shaped lightsaber. And so when he sees that, does he put it together that it's the same thing? Does he connect those things? I would also throw out there, though, that you could change the meaning of and retcon, if you want to use fan language. But when he goes over to the box and he pulls something out, he's like, "What's that?" I mean, he might have asked that if it was cheese.
Right.
And he was hungry for a snack. It really is open enough that I do think that they fucked with fan conception. But did they fuck with canon? I'm of the opinion, no, they actually didn't.
I don't think so.
I think it was still open.
Yeah. Because I mean, he's seen the red laser sword, whatever. He doesn't even know necessarily. I don't read that too much into it.
And then once he says it's a lightsaber, he turns it on and swings it around and he goes, "You fought in the Clone Wars." So we used to assume that they didn't know what Jedi were, but after fucking 107 episodes or plus of the Clone Wars cartoon, I feel like you could not know about the Clone Wars without knowing that there were Jedi leading those clones in those wars. So I think it's pretty safe to assume that Luke is naive, but he's not fucking stupid.
Right.
He's very fair?
Yeah, he's very naive.
Yeah, he's naive. He's a Navy man.
Yeah.
But yeah. So
why is that? Is that a thing right now? I'm sorry, I'm not really following that much.
Yeah, it happened that Josh from Den of Nerds did a video freaking out about it. And he says things in there that I think is like loaded language. Like, he says stuff like they're interjecting this character. Interjecting. I don't. It's almost like they're artificially inseminating up the pussy of Star Wars, and that's. Just
I can't speak for Josh because I don't know him.
Yeah,
but I'm willing to bet the dude fucking probably really loved the Force Unleashed video games. You know, and I'm just saying, how many of these fucking Star Wars fans, man, the ones I never paid for Force Unleashed, never did, right? I've been hearing since Episode 7 was announced. Why wasn't Starkiller he should get his own series? He should be canon. You know. Like, which one? The one that arrests Darth Vader?
Right.
You know, like, which one? The one that, you know what I mean? Is the actual person who runs around doing shit during the fucking this time there's not supposed to be nobody? Star Destroyers?
I think even though that stuff isn't canon, I think you actually are hitting upon a very good point, was that I remember in 2008 sitting here on the old internet looking at a screen and finding out that Anakin had an apprentice. And I watched as every fanboy in the world started crying and shaking about and throwing little fucking hissy fits. And now here we are in 2022 and everyone is applauding that she has a live action television series that starts filming today.
Well, Jason,
it's weird.
This is something I mentioned to you 2 weeks ago. I just forgot to bring it back up on the show. You were like, bring it up on the show. And my point has been this, right? Is and I've been saying this since cats were bitching about fucking Daisy Ridley Ray being the main character, and I had to hear about
Bring back the cat's buttholes. I agree with you. They should have had their buttholes.
woke Star Wars. I'm like, yo, straight up, if fucking the Clone Wars cartoon had come out today, and you had never come out, today it comes out, every one of these guys would be like, Ahsoka's the real character in the Clone Wars. Anakin had an apprentice, and Disney's trying to change it to a female trilogy.
Yeah.
It's not my Star Wars. They would not. They would. They would. And anyone who fucking denies that is literally straight lying. Like, it would be nonsense. Could you imagine whatever poor, who's the actress that did the voice of Ahsoka?
Ashley
Eckstein.
That poor woman would be hounded off the face of the internet, dude. You know?
And if Star Wars hadn't been practically dead at the point that she got the role, she would have been in 2008 had it not just been whimpering along at that time.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's true. And so, but anyways, what Josh does, in my opinion, in his video, and he's welcome to come on here and talk about it. Anything if I'm saying anything unfair or whatever, he could, he's always welcome to come and share his side. But it's like, I'm only taking from what I saw in his video as his opinion. And he says things like they interjected this character. Well, the thing about it is number one, this story is not natural. It's fake. It's artificial. It's created. Every single aspect of it is interjected into this canon. Vader and Anakin, Vader, and Obi-Wan even fighting again is an interjection into the canon and a reconfiguring of previous knowledge that we were willing to go with because immediately we wanted to see it. We liked it.
You have to say the same thing about Qui-Gon. Qui-Gon is interjecting the character into canon when it should have been Yoda. Should have been on that ship at the opening of Phantom Menace with Obi-Wan, and Yoda could have been the all CGI character. I've been saying this since 1999, whenever we saw the movie. It made no sense to me. But I wasn't going on the internet going, now I'm going to create 700 fucking million bot lords and go over here and fucking harass Liam Neeson. Which, by the way, he would just piss on himself and then kick my ass.
Yeah, he's too drunk to even know. He's not paying attention.
But like that, it's just so ridiculous. And I'm not even you know me. If I don't like the fucking show, I'll be there the first night telling you I don't like the fucking show.
Yeah.
Like this, I'm not a fucking Disney apologist. I've been told on this show, Rob doesn't even like Star Wars, which is hilarious.
And to clarify my position is if I do leaks, if I squirt on something, I try and be on its side though. I like if something is just obviously really terrible, if they are just eating shit sandwiches, and then I would say it, oh my God, what are you guys doing? Like, change this before it's too late. But at the same time, whenever I do put something out like that, I do think I should be kind of in its corner as opposed to against it, because I'm just trying to report what I know to be true.
Mm-hmm.
And not
do you
trying
know
to
how this
encourage
person feels about the prequels though? Do they like the prequels? The story's great.
I don't think so. I don't know what they like, to be honest. And it's like one of those things where I don't, some of the people who report on Star Wars, I don't even know if they like it. Not saying he does or doesn't. I don't know. I don't follow him that closely.
I get the same thing with some Star Trek fans, like they're just like, everything new sucks now. And I'm like, maybe it's you're just not into it anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's possible.
No, and I could understand the perspective on it, when you start covering something and then you have to cover it, there's an expectation. It's what puts food on the table. It's what keeps the lights on. And doing it as a fan when you're excited about it, like a normal person, they'll hear something about Star Wars and they'll tweet about it if they're excited or not, or they're angry. But they if something's lukewarm, they just don't do it. We do it all. So I could understand how some people end up covering something that they're not in love with anymore.
Yeah.
That's why. So just stop doing it. But it takes a lot of realization to come to that thing. And there's an economic incentive to keep doing it. But what's going to happen tonight probably is it's going to go on Star Wars Theories channel, and they're going to do the live thing tonight, and they're probably going to talk about it. And when they do, that's when we're going to see a mass at a very big level, a bunch of people freaking out. Like I saw clips of it that people sent me, and it was just like people being completely racist about Reva, and them going, hey, don't be racist, which is the right thing to do, but also I don't know what was going on there, but if you do that on this channel, I'll just ban you.
I did go back once and read the reviews of Star Wars 1977, right? You call it A New Hope, they just called it Star Wars. And one of the complaints that Lucas was getting from his own peers was that there was no black people in space. None whatsoever. It's all white people. No black people. No, nothing. Right? It's a big deal in the 70s. So Lando shows up in the second one. Now, could you imagine? Now they'd be like, and he's catering to the woke left, putting a black man in Star Wars.
That's what David Prowse said when they changed his voice. Yeah. When they changed his voice, he pretty much said, "Oh, they just wanted to make a black person in there." Like he basically said that. Yeah, it was pretty disappointing. But everything about David Prowse is disappointing, so it doesn't surprise me.
Except his ability to leak Star Wars.
Oh, that he was the best. He was the best of the originals. The way I look at it is like that's like our Count Dooku. And then I see T-Bone Star Wars universes or Qui-Gon to my Obi-Wan. That's how I see things. But that's our lineage. I say. Artie said, did someone say Luke sees a lightsaber? I'm never watching Star Wars again. Well, I'm gonna miss you, dude. But if you do watch it, why don't you come hang out with us? It'll be a good time. So Luke says,
I like how that's what did it for him. Like we just went through one lackluster trilogy and the prequels, and now I'm out.
I think he was joking.
I hope he was joking.
I know, but there is someone out there, dude.
I know.
There is someone out there who's doing that, like they're just and honestly, it's like, remember a year ago when everyone was freaking out about Mr. Potato Head? Now you don't know. I mean, nothing's changed. Mr. Potato Head's still on the fucking in Target. I checked, doing it with the potato head thing. It's just like, when there's a legitimate gripe, okay, like what I consider to be a legitimate gripe. Hey, episode 9 fell flat. Felt like they didn't know what they were doing. Feels rushed. That is a legitimate complaint. I'm like, okay, they should learn from that. If you're like, well, this changes the context and he really should. I don't know what conversation Luke was supposed to have right there with Obi-Wan, that is any different than any of the other conversations we could have had. Like if you knew, I'm a guy who grew up without a father, right? I was adopted. Like, I would ask my dad, what was my real, did he have kids? What was his job? Like, Luke's like, you knew my father? He was a spice for. What was his favorite food? Did he listen to music? Like, I just like, what, how did you meet? Really, you trained him when he was a kid? Like, we don't find nothing out. Like, it's so minimal, like that scene. I just don't know what else to infer from it, like, or to say, well, okay, so I guess like what was Obi-Wan protecting him from if it would be some fucking threat, right? Or he would leave the planet and just show back up when he's like ready to be trained. Like, why would he stay there unless there was always it was from Darth Vader? Well, that's out the door the minute you find out Vader had Inquisitors. No one had a problem with that. So Vader didn't we were led to believe Vader single-handedly cut down all the Jedi Knights for the Emperor. Right, and then it was rumored that he got help with the Mandalorians, and that went out the fucking window with the prequels. And then the Inquisitors show up.
Wait, roll back. Your original concept was that there must have been about 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 of these guys that were Jedi, because Darth Vader goes and kills them all. But when you there's like thousands of them, it starts to become like, well, he really couldn't, could he?
No,
he
couldn't.
Let's look at the
scene. What was Obi-Wan protecting him from? And did Luke ever face a rule? Well, he didn't face it. He was just sitting there.
Yeah.
Like, father wanted you to have this when you were old enough.
Your father wanted you.
He feared you might follow old Obi-Wan on some damn fool idealistic crusade like your father did.
What is it?
It's your father's lightsaber.
What is it? What is it? I mean, like I said, it's not really that binding, is it? I mean, it doesn't have to be. Now, once again, I'm not saying people cannot have an opinion that, I don't think that was in good taste. I don't like that it changed I don't like that it changed my conception of that moment, something I find lesser. I think that's completely their right to that opinion. But if you want to say it broke the canon, I mean,
that's what I'm freak like I'm get hyped up about, because you're like, this breaks like this right here, this right here. We just got a whole Solo movie everyone's saying is the greatest fucking Star Wars movie no one talks about, that completely, like, the Kessel Run is what, a giant fucking squid in space? Like, that's not,
yeah. Well, what is the damn full idealistic crusade? Is it the Clone Wars?
Well, that was my whole argument, like, for the, like, when I got at episode 2, man, I was like, he should have gone back to Owen or just with his family or something, and then he quits the order to be with Padme. He should have quit the order at the end of episode 2 to be with Padme, and then in episode 3, Obi-Wan has to go back to Tatooine to get him and say, come back with me. He's like, no, man, I got a brother now, man, dude. We're chilling. We got family here. We were gonna raise our kids and shit. This is my brother I never had, right? You know what I mean? And then Obi-Wan goes, save me. The Sith has been running. They're hiding. He knows about.
Hey George. George. This is Rick McCallum. When we said we needed more brothers in Star Wars, we didn't mean like that. Sorry.
But none of that happened. So, like, I don't know. Like I get that being, but don't act like this isn't anything Lucas himself wouldn't. If Lucas was going to do an Obi-Wan series, right? He would have conjured up a bunch of shit you never would have thought that would have recontextualized everything. As a matter of fact, Lucas would have gone way further. It would have been a crazy mechanical slug creature that was like threatening Luke.
Lucas actively was a Rian Johnson and would try to circumvent your expectations completely. Like that was like
they're
was
being
his
tame
goal
compared to what Lucas would do. Like,
but so like it's like at the end of the day, I mean, if you want to be real about things, it doesn't break canon. If you want to be real about things, the canon has been very much a piece of Play-Doh that's been shaped over and over again since before most of you, myself included, was born. You know what I mean?
Yeah, let's go read the original drafts of the Star Wars,
Yeah. It's just
how far that changed.
I mean, and it's like and you end up with a a prediction that's just completely crazy. Then you end up with them trying to make it into a 9-part, 12 to 12-part saga. And then you have a divorce that makes them say, fuck it, now it's 3. and then we go from 3 to making it a 36-part saga.
Hey, it's not his sister, folks. She's not his sister. It's that simple.
You can't accept it.
It's the one thing Kurt's ever fucking complained about that I 100% agree with. It doesn't make any sense. And you have
I agree with it, because if Carrie Fisher could have been my girlfriend, I would have killed that motherfucker. Han Solo, I would have put him in carbonite and I would have fucking broke him like an ice cube and then unfroze him and been like, guess now you're my girlfriend.
That explains why Luke corrupted his son and his son ended up killing him and he got his revenge.
The long game.
The long game. Yes. The long talon card.
I want to hit on Luke's what did Luke say? Luke said something I wanted to hit on. Luke Miller says, to me, watching A New Hope, Luke immediately has some sort of connection to the lightsaber and swings it. So I honestly don't have a big issue. I don't love the fact that Obi-Wan trusts her to just leave.
See, we haven't seen it.
Well, yeah. Well, we do sort of have the we don't really I am inferring some things about that moment. That was my interpretation of it, that once we see it, we may feel as different. And always, like, that's the other thing about this, is sometimes you have me hearing something from somebody who saw it being made, but didn't write it, didn't direct it, but was there. And then they tell me, and then I tell you. But sometimes they tell me, I tell you, somebody else writes about what I said, and then that person then freaks out about what the fourth person in the line says. We have a game of telephone a little bit. That's why it's always better to go back to the original source of the leak, whether it's Bespin Bulletin or Making Star Wars or Star Wars Mag. Always start at the genesis of the leak. Don't read it fourth hand from somebody on Twitter with an agenda one way or the other. Go to the source.
It also depends on how all of this builds and how the characters are coming across over the course of the story, and then that moment how it plays out between the actors. Like the way two actors act in the scene. If you just say, "Oh," and he just lets the person go and he just walks away, I don't get it. But it's like describing the ending to The Dark Knight where, you know, Batman is taking the blame for Harvey Dent now, you know, like, but then when you watch it, you know, you're like, oh, all that shit makes sense and it's fucking powerful. And the kid says something. So the last person in the movie is a kid says something, not Batman. This is ridiculous. Like, it's just, I don't know, man. I don't know, like,
Batman should have the last word.
Yeah.
No, I am like I said, I haven't seen it yet, so I'm not cheerleading it as being like, but if I am looking at it as bullet points to the story and like looking at it out as like a giant outline, here's what the story is. Number one, the thing that they're jumping to is that it makes it all about Reva. How is it all about Reva? Because I'm talking about the end of her arc. Like, that is completely not understanding arcs here. And also, I think and to hit on Luke, maybe I will even disagree with this point when it comes out. Okay, so I'm not trying to put it on Luke like Luke did anything wrong here, but Obi-Wan, the key to Obi-Wan getting, I believe, the key to everything is hope. That is the point. Is Obi-Wan starts with no hope, and by the end of it, he has hope. So when he watches Reva walk away, what is it? It's hope. He's hoping she doesn't do anything worse, because at the end of the day, that's all you really have in that situation. Now, would it have been fitting and in character for Obi-Wan to go up and slash her throat and go, "Secret's dead, bitch," and it dies with you, and stamp her fucking head into the floor? No, that would not be Obi-Wan Kenobi anymore. And if he had done that, he should have done that to Nari in chapter 1. Because that would have been the Cassian level of game that he's playing, and he's not that.
He should have gone back and done it to Jar Jar. Let's just be honest.
No, but I mean,
you made all this possible, you pathetic life form.
Yeah. You sell out. Yeah, no, I mean, at the end of the day, that's not Kenobi's character. Kenobi is like the guy who goes, "You must do what you feel is right." Of course, he's literally letting Reva do that, but he's also knows that if he puts that by putting that hope in Reva, that is actually putting on Reva. It's putting that hope. It's putting hope in Reva too. It's contagious when you believe in people. It allows them to believe in themselves if nobody believes in them. And as we've seen, Reva's not getting, "We believe in you, Reva. You can do this." They're not. They're like literally like, "You can't find Kenobi because I can't find him, you stupid asshole." Like, that's kind of like where they're at as far as if what I'm hearing is accurate, and I believe it to be very fucking accurate. So
we none of us can expect these folks to take lessons from Star Wars that don't involve just blanketly murdering the entire galaxy. Like, they've learned nothing.
Yeah,
they've learned nothing from any other Star Wars, Jason. They've learned absolutely none of the morals. That's why they all brandish the Imperial symbols and little walkers with baby strollers on the back of their fucking trucks. "Here's me and my little fucking AT-ATs." Like, they took all the wrong. And I'm not saying, look, there's fun in loving the villains, but the more I see this come from this, I really think, oh, they love the fucking Empire.
Let's step out. Let's step out. Well, yeah, let's step out of things here. It's cool to be amused by the Joker. It's not cool to admire him. It's a different thing altogether. And that's kind of, you do sort of see a bit of the fascist mentality kind of liking
it's so predictable. It's also so predictable. Like, I saw this coming a mile away. The minute you go back to the video when you talked about it, I'm like, Jason, they're gonna say this shit's all about her. Like, it's so pathetically predictable. Give me a fucking opinion that isn't a talking point that gets seared into your little simple fucking minds, dude. Give me something. Like it's ridiculous that they're even are Inquisitors. Like, it is ridiculous. Like, but here we are, like, it's the way the galaxy is.
Well, Darren here brings up a really good point. The back end of this point, he says, "Sick of negative people putting this show down before they have even seen it." Fair. That is, if you're going to read leaks, you have to, I think you responsibly, if you're going to read leaks, you have to go like, okay, now let's see how it plays.
Just like drinking.
People claiming the end links are really bad. And once again, they can have that opinion, but Reva not killing or taking Luke is the reason he's now even alive in the OT. Now that's one of the things that they're saying. They're saying now we owe Reva. That's the only reason why Luke is alive is because of Reva. I do not believe that was the point of the scene. I do not believe anybody would logically or reasonably walk away from that. And I looked at my report to make sure it wasn't me, because it could have been me who, that's what I always, that's the thing that I always struggle with releasing leaks. And it's like, I want people to be able to discuss the things and before they hit, and to get used to them, to brace for what's coming, and also to be able to like understand it before it happens in some way, and then to judge it completely understanding it after they see it.
The first time I encountered this with like at a mass scale, right? I always come across some asshole, right? Who's got a stupid take, and usually it's the other guy at the comic shop buying something, which is why I learned never to talk to other customers at the comic book shop. Just talk to the owner.
They always see me.
Customers are fucking nuts,
and I look at them, and then they're like, "You'll talk to me," and I'm like, "Hi, I'll talk to you."
But the first time I encountered this at a mass scale was at San Diego Comic-Con 2009 with Play Magazine. I was at this game magazine. We had a big booth, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that was the summer
Noisy Mike, Max.
It'd come
Noisy
out,
Mike.
right?
Sorry.
And so the con had a ton of new fans. There was all these women. I've never seen so many women at Comic-Con before.
Nice.
Like all my life. I've been going to Comic-Con since 1992. Yeah. I've been hearing about no girls. And I would bring my girlfriend and some of her friends, and it was always like, oh, there's something for me too. Kevin Smith would be there or something that they could get into. But then I heard from my fans, they're stealing Comic-Con. The women, what are they doing here? Can't get nowhere. Like, can't move in the halls or crowding everything. Twilight isn't even real shit. I'm like, it's
babes make me nervous.
I know, and they would tell me it's not comics. Meanwhile, they were all they have is toys under their fucking bags and shit. None of them have bought a comic book. I remember 5 years before that, I was trying to buy a Ninja Turtles comic, and you couldn't get one Ninja Turtles comic at Comic-Con. It was nothing but toys and Silver Age shit. That was it. Like, it was dead. There was a period where you couldn't get real comics unless there was Silver Age comics or new releases. But there was this dead period, right? Okay, before the MCU came out, before the next wave of the bubble, the fan bubble started to crevice again. But at 2009 is the first time I heard this shit. And every time I go back, I go, how old were these dudes in 2009? Because I bet you they're the same motherfuckers who at Comic-Con bitching. You know what I mean? About this stupid shit. Like, I bet you they were.
Yeah, well, Den of Nerds made a rant video hating the ending of Kenobi as well as me. Yeah, that's where I've got everything about it from. And I think it frames it in a way that is, some might consider to be unnatural. But they don't mention the fact that we're getting a beautiful emotional Qui-Gon scene. No, they don't. They literally isolate Reva's arc as being the whole television show, and it's completely. I know he's read every article I've ever written on Obi-Wan Kenobi, and he completely disregards all of it and makes it about Reva. I've barely even written about Reva on Jabim so far, because it's really not that interesting. I've barely written about Reva in episode, you know what I mean? So like, there's actually more Reva to come. Actually, that's the hilarious part. But I haven't. But it's not really the point. It's not really the focus. It's not the big takeaway of those episodes, and so it's really, really strange. I'm not accusing him of this. I don't know if it's on purpose, but it does, to many who DM me a lot about it, seem like he's dog whistling those people, the racist people, into getting the freak out. It's almost like whether he believes it or not, I'm not trying to call him a racist or anything like that, but he hits the beehive and then quarters fall out of the beehive, hits the beehive, change keeps falling out of it. You know what I mean? And right. but at the same time, it's like, oh, that's kind of fucked up, because now we have all of these awful people that are circling around saying really horrible, like racist, terrible things. I mean, like, I like one of the, like, there was this one, let me see if somebody sent it to me, like, and Yeah, this guy on that video goes, the new Disney is all about women. Women's very big. It sucks. I love a
Meanwhile,
good
when they gonna have Mara Jade?
yeah. I love a good strong female character, but they are destroying all the legacy characters of Star Wars because what they are men? Get real. I'm over this only woman bullshit. And I am a woman. But at the end of the day, not surprised. Much love. And
Yeah,
it's
I'm
like
sure.
it's like once again, Reva having an arc, a woman having an arc in a man's story does not destroy the man's arc. That is literally fucking stupid. But Josh is making them believe this based off of his reaction to the article. And by highlighting only those things, I don't know. I getting a really bad vibe off of it, and it's bringing out a lot of terrible stuff and a lot of terrible stuff in people. And
People need to lighten
Bad
up.
faith actors.
not
Bad
Buttercup.
faith actors. They're bad faith actors. They don't actually believe any of the shit they're saying. It's just they're there to monetize this nonsense.
Right.
So it's just there to grift them. It's just a giant way to make money off fucking hate. And I don't know, like, if you haven't learned about the penalty of believing in hate as a lifestyle, you haven't been watching Star Wars.
It is choosing the dark side, isn't it? Socially, it's
Yes.
choosing the dark side to make that your angle. I mean, I've never purposely done that, but I have purposely engaged in like even today. Maybe focusing on the negative is a bad thing, but I also think that it's important just to not let that be the only thing that sits, And but do it as Andrew says, and don't forget to like and ring the bell, you pieces of shit. I'm kidding. I love you guys.
You like to pass judgments, Jason. You know
Mhm.
what I mean? Just sit on your throne passing judgments on the internet.
I got so
How
mad.
dare us, Pat? How dare
My
us?
beard fell
How dare
off. My fake Obi-Wan Kenobi beard fell off. I got so angry.
It's spring. Don't
Your
people know
mer-
when spring comes, your beard just falls off?
It just
You know,
falls
Your-
off.
Your merkin
I'm
fell
a late
off.
bloomer. Yeah. So,
God.
you're
All right.
American.
Yeah. So, anyways, yeah, Luke Miller. They are mad that basically Reva is going to be the reason why Luke is even alive now, and it's like that is like such a weird misconception. It's almost like every time a stormtrooper gets killed, that's the only reason why Luke is alive. The only reason why, I mean, if you're going to tell a story about protecting Luke, then Luke needs to get put in danger, or there's no fucking story there. So fundamentally, they are against the very premise of the story from the very start when you get down to it. Just like now, the fact that Leia's in it, the only reason why Leia's in A New Hope is because Obi-Wan saves her, because it's a really weird attribution. It's almost like in a story, like if somebody saves you once, you owe them a life debt, like they're all a bunch of fucking Wookiees. That's not real. That's a weird way to look at the world. It's a weird way for them to even for Chewbacca to even look at it in those stories, So that's kind of my take, anyways. But Louis feels that Luke and Last Jedi was poorly written, and he's glad that they're going to take a different approach with Obi-Wan. I actually feel like Obi-Wan and Luke have a lot in common. And also, I think that the arc is not really different. Luke, both men start off at a loss, completely as down as they can get. And then by seeing the actions of the next generation, they become their old selves again. And they become the Jedi who they used to be. So I gotta say, Louis, kind of see it as being the same arc. But
and by the way, Lucas was gonna have Luke in exile in his trilogy too. So
yeah,
that idea was coming one way or the other.
Yeah, sure, it was. Young Boomer says, seeing people are mad that Reva works out who Luke is, but she's kind of doing her job. Inquisitors got to inquisit. That's exactly what I said in the article. Yeah. I mean, Boomer, and thank you for being a channel member, Boomer. Thanks to everyone who can support the channel and does. I really do appreciate it. But yeah, that's exactly it. I mean, that's why I call her a smart cookie, because she actually does her job and figures it out. I mean, do you want mass incompetence? Then we say the Inquisitors are so incompetent, they don't do anything and they're just idiots. So why are they even here? And that's how I feel about them in the cartoon a lot of the times. So I'm actually kind of happy.
Luke's
Real
last
stakes.
name is Skywalker, and they never changed it. You know, and his father used to be like the fucking was it Petty? You know, like the NASCAR guy, the fucking Lee Petty, whatever. You know what I mean? The Dale Earnhardt of fucking Tatooine. Okay. You know,
I did suggest today on Star Wars Santa's show. I'm like, why don't they write a moment where he does tell people his name is Luke Lars if he's being questioned, and he knows that his father was a navigator on a spice freighter. It's not a name that you want to go around mentioning. Don't do it. But you are Luke Skywalker. That is your real name. You know what I mean? Like they could easily just write that. And because he only says, I'm Luke Skywalker, I'm here to rescue you. After the cat's out of the bag, the family's dead, he's not going home again. At that point, he's telling people he's Luke Skywalker. Think about it. I mean, they could do that if they wanted to.
But Skywalker's like Smith in the Star Wars. No, it's not. It's not like Smith in the Star Wars. Remember all the all the Skywalkers we got in other comics because it's so fucking normal a name? Like all the books and remember all of them because it's so normal? Like, no, it's not.
At one point, Lucas says it's so common they even have a wine. That's what he says. But let's I want to talk about the Ahsoka thing for a second because we did kind of like jump past it really quickly because I think he's bringing. I think I like where your head's at here because this is something that I was considering. Now, for the I will let them see your beautiful face in just a second, Max.
I'm looking.
I always feel like we have this preconceived notion based off of Star Wars Rebels that it's about the Ahsoka show is about the search for Thrawn and Ezra. Okay. And now I'm just saying, let's analyze it. It's the first day. I don't know anything yet. You know, they haven't even filmed today. So even if I was to know anything, who could tell me anything yet? They haven't filmed it yet. Right. So I don't know anything really. I do know that the classic Rebels characters are coming back. That I know for certain. I've seen behind the scenes physical proof. So with that in mind, what if this series isn't about Ahsoka hanging out with Thrawn and Ezra? What if it's completely about the search for them? And what if they don't show up? What if they pull a Force Awakens on us and we don't see them until the very last scene? Because originally Ahsoka, I believe, was touted as being a limited series, just like Obi-Wan Kenobi. Mm-hmm. And today they did not call it a limited series. They called it, what they call it, a new series, something like that. So they dropped limited series, which means they plan on doing more than one season of this if it's successful. And so with that in mind, does that work? Because I do think that if they are to a point where expectations might need to start to be kind of set here on this one,
mm-hmm.
because if it's like, let's say it's 8 episodes or 6, let's just say 6 episodes even, and we don't see Ezra and Thrawn until the 6th episode, you're going to have 5 weeks of people going, where is that? What you just did was amazing and cool, but I wasn't expecting that. I was looking for this other thing. Where's that thing I was looking for? You know, we are kind of that is fan expectations and what they think happens. I mean, geez, I could even tell you from my own social experience with them that once they hear one thing and they cannot hear another thing. It takes them a long time to fucking drop that one idea that they've held about you or it or whatever. Some of you are dumb. Some of you are bright, but a lot of you are dumb.
Hey,
Max, sorry, but you know I'm talking
Lucas
about
got so depressed about it, Jason, he made episode 2.
Got so depressed about it, he sold the shit.
And then he eventually sold it. Yeah. But first he made episode 2. His reaction to the backlash on the Phantom Menace, I mean, it's evident everywhere, you know.
Jedi Mike says, I'm honestly wearing my Filoniverse black hat 528 at Downtown Disney for the Vader Lars Team Sheev Star Wars Celebration Anaheim meetup. Hey,
God bless
there you go.
God bless you, Jedi Mike.
Hey, don't let me judge you. What do I know? Look at me. I'm not cool. So
They should find a way to make that hat canon so they can sell them at Galaxy's Edge just for us. Like they're like that little secret shop, you go into, and it's like Babu Frick's in there, and he's only got the hats,
Tim, I'm judging your posture and the way that you're holding that guitar right now. It's not healthy. I get it. You're grooving out, but dude, come on, lumbar. I don't know what I'm talking about. I don't know what I'm talking about.
You're not allowed to have opinions, Rob, and you're not allowed to be passionate about them. Like us, when we're just like us, like these guys who are running around freaking out over it. I know what it is, Jason. They don't like it when people kick back their fucking ideas. I hear all the time. I say I like Avatar, but I've been hearing it for 10 fucking years. You suck. This movie sucks. You're a shitty little stupid movie. Okay, great. Can't wait for the next one. Like, if you really believed it, you wouldn't be getting hurt about it. You'd be like, "Oh, I get why you say that, but I just disagree with you." They don't believe it. There's just they don't really believe it. If they believed it, they'd be consistent across the board. And I don't know, most of them aren't, dude. They just flip back and forth.
Well, yeah. If you walk away from the Kenobi series believing that Reva is the main character, you ultimately are going to need to be mad at Ewan McGregor because he would have done such a bad job that in her amount of screen time, she stole the show from him, and ultimately that would be Ewan McGregor's failing. But
where is this coming from though? I know that he's kidding, but where is this coming from though?
It's coming from Den of Nerds. Den of Nerds is propagating the idea
that
and he goes on Star Wars Theory Show, who has like 3 million subscribers, and then he covers it, and then he acts like, I don't know what's going on. Just tell me what's going on here. And then Josh tells him it from that very angle, and then people are like, race war. And they're like, hey, don't be racist. But that's what's happening.
Sounds strange.
That's the world that we live in. But it's true. I mean, it is true. That is exactly what's going on. And yeah, so I don't know what the line is, where it's not their fault or whatever. I don't know how responsible I am for reporting for sharing the leaks, but squirts. But but that's what. This is the kind of stuff.
I don't agree with that too, Jason, that you're responsible for this. Like, it's our... But man, first off, you report on what they're doing. It's what Disney's doing, right? This is the story that one way or the other, they're telling the story. Okay, fine. But like, I'm not going to sit here, and I don't think you should sit there and be like, oh, we should have just waited. It would have been bitching about whatever they're going to bitch about. You know, having some kind of alternate fucking opinion to these cats. There's two ways to do it. Either you never engage with the Eye of Sauron, just pretend it doesn't exist while it festers everywhere, and then somehow the problem with that is then the people who then read that stuff that are against it will then somehow go, where did it come from? Oh, it came from you'll get blamed somehow for it. You have to be very clear how you feel about that so that they can't come back around. See, I went through. I watched my parents go through several divorces, so I see like all the little tricks, right?
Well, that's what
I know, the little tricks. Like
what I was trying to do with this like series of leaks is I tried see what ends up happening is whenever I talk about the justifications about where I think they're coming at this stuff from. Then whenever I do that, then people take it as I'm some kind of shill who's pushing some kind of agenda, and when in reality, all I'm trying to do is facilitate the discussion on the points. But it does suck when it gets distorted and it gets turned into this thing that like it's like, I got to be honest with you. Like, I sat there over the course of those weeks that they were filming and pretty much got daily updates on what was being filmed, and every single day I was like, oh, that sounds cool. I mainly felt cool about things and happy with like what I was hearing. Never for the fucking life of me did I at one point go, this is Reva's story. Never. I could not have seen it coming, except for the fact that they cast a dark-skinned lady as the character. And like I said, I find it funny that when I was only talking about the first episode, no one was saying, what is this, the Nari show? Because everything happens in relation to Kenobi. That's the everything is from Kenobi's point of view for the most part.
Yeah,
And
we're following him, right?
yeah, it doesn't mean that we
I mean,
don't cut to the
there has
bad
to be
guys.
scenes where Star Wars, you see the bad guys POV, like you're gonna.
You do.
You know,
100%.
That shot of Reva on Nur, right, is clearly you're with her at that point.
Yes.
But who are you supposed to be with? You can't humanize the Grand Inquisitor. His storyline's played out. You know what I mean? You can't humanize. There's so much Vader can do if he's not. What are you supposed to do? Run around with Anakin? He's just sitting there. Oh, what's he doing? He's just sitting there being angry all the time.
Yeah.
It's time to do something. I mean, he's not. He's not having deep. Vader isn't having deep thoughts. Deep thoughts with Vader.
Yeah. So not sure if Scott caught on throughout it, but yeah, basically Reva, go to MakingStarWars.net, read my article. That's the best way to take. That article has the essence of what I was told each of those days. And, you know, like I said, I did my best in the articles to not give too much commentary, just to be like, here's what I believe happens. But, and it's kind of funny because, like I said, I do try to be like, I try to give the creators the benefit of the doubt every single time. Even when Boba Fett was looking stupid at times, I tried to give them, I was like, you know what? We don't, you're right. He's looking out the window, but maybe in the final episode, we're going to be something that makes that stuff you know what I mean? And then it never happened. And then I said, hey, you know what? The show didn't work. The show, it was very lazy. But the one thing about Kenobi is not fucking lazy. It's actually like really tight. I am actually I'm being honest here. My honest opinion is right now, from the word of mouth, I am very impressed with the tightness of the script, even down to things like a T-16 Skyhopper getting left on the property, which is kind of a sweet thing for Kenobi to do. And then Owen being like, fuck that guy, and taking it. But by the end of it, Owen, who cannot change his mind, says, here you go, kid. Like he gives it to a Luke at the end. That shows a character change internally. It's not big. It's like I joked, you know, using the microaggressions, they're story microprogressions. You know what I mean? But that's where we are, because we only have so much like space we can actually contort in this to tell a story in. And so once again, if you need to make up your mind that the story is bigger than whatever you thought it was. Like Nerd Theory goes on to like say in his thing that they're, like I said, they're injecting her. He says it like 4 or 5 times, injecting her into this. But you're the one who made up the parameters of the story. The parameters of the story in between the story was never promising you that it was only Darth Vader and Obi-Wan Kenobi, that it was their story and that's it either. This is a television series. What television series have you watched where it's only the main, and I'm even Boba Fett fucking literally gives episodes to another character, but this doesn't do that. There's never like and now here we go. Here's Rashomon on Star Wars and here's Reva's story, you know, for perspective. It's a series, and fucking even Frasier's brother has some moments in every episode, doesn't he? You know what I mean?
It just changes Cheers, man. He didn't have a whole family. He never mentioned his brothers and all this shit.
This morning when I woke up, I watched the Golden Girls where Blanche brings Santa home to fuck. And she fucks Santa, and then later on he holds them all up with the gun. Yeah, it was so good. I love Golden Girls.
Yeah, it was a good show.
Yeah,
I like how the oldest one is the youngest chick in the show. Like,
but it would be like, but it would literally be like saying me reporting that as a spoiler and going, so the fucking Golden Girls is coming on tonight, but it's all about Santa. This is Santa's fucking story now. The Golden Girls are only alive in the next episode because Santa didn't kill the Golden Girls in that episode with his gun. Like that is fucking batty fucking logic, but I think it does convince either dumb racist or little kids that, oh my God, I need to worry. Super chat stands to alleviate my fears. Here's $5, alleviate my fears. But once again, he's very good at getting that money.
Won't.
And spoilers, I'm bad at it. Nobody's giving me $1 today. Dale says, Max, wake up. Wait, I can't hear you, Max. Wait, oh no, Max. Your mic is.
It was
Been canceled.
no. Yeah. Shut up. You've been canceled.
Ooh.
They had to get one of us.
How did you cancel that which is already canceled? It's kind of freeing.
That's deep.
Your head teasers,
deep.
man. 2 weeks in a row. It hurts my eyes.
Yeah. Aria's like, please, sir, please write the article. Please write the article titled Star Wars Obi-Wan Kenobi, Luke seeing Reva's lightsaber does not break in New Hope canon. Hey, Reva. I said, hey, Reva. Hey, Aria, if you want to write it, by all means, I'll do it and I'll credit you. You know, I won't steal it from you.
And I said, Dale, but y'all couldn't hear me.
Oh,
I was muted. I think you muted me, actually.
Did I mute you? I'm sorry.
No, I got disconnected.
Silence! Insubordinate!
No way, Jose.
That's Josie to you. My
no way, Josie.
My high school girlfriend,
Josie Grossi.
Diana Canseco. Her father's name was Jose Canseco, which was kind of hilarious.
Oh, really?
But yeah, but he would he obviously didn't like me because I don't know. But his name was Jose, and whenever I would call, he thought he was insulting me by calling me Hassan. He did it on purpose to like troll me, so I call him Josie.
Hassan? Last week,
and I'd be like, "Hey, Josie."
I gotta save it, but last week someone posted a capture from the UK version of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the 1990 film, when he says Jose Canseco, and it's just some weird Japanese name. They fucking
oh really?
What he was saying, and they don't play baseball in the UK, so they're like it was like Jin So Sensaso, like it was like they just made it must be some ninja name.
Tyrant says, I hate CRTs. Those things were heavy as hell to carry upstairs. Flat screens made so much better for nerds like me. Wait, what? We're talking about grad level legal studies and social constructs?
Only way to play retro video games is on a CRT. All right, that's it. It's the only way.
And once again, like Darren's bringing it up, Josh also needs to concede that the only reason why the Golden Girls are alive is because Santa didn't shoot him in that episode. That it's not solid. It's not a solid reading of a text. When I say a text, I mean any media. So when you watch A New Hope, you will think, oh, Luke's only alive because Reva didn't kill him in Kenobi. Yeah, it's just not how it should be. As the True says, it is true, Rob. There's some eps of season 7 of the Clone Wars that was called Disney Making It Woke because they had 2 sisters in Ahsoka.
Now I want a Disney Plus series that's just called, it's like all the ways Luke could have almost died, and it's just random scenes of like let every person animate something, film something, and it's 10 years of Luke just like Owen stopping Luke from nearly killing himself left and right. The time he turned on the fucking pilot light and almost blew the time he fucking hit the engine, the time he fucking was dancing around the Sarlacc pit, the time he the time he got real, he was trying to get all the milk fucking shit in the sand and then kicked up a fucking crazy fucking lizard dude. Like
Yeah, it is. Wait, it's David's birthday. Happy birthday, Mr. Gorlick.
Luke almost got killed by a Tusken Raider in the first time we ever meet Luke. If Obi-Wan was right around the corner, having to watch his stupid ass.
Yeah,
I suspect he was almost always getting killed for the better part of his entire life.
Yeah, I don't know.
He's pretending to be a pod racer. You think that would have gone well? He's not his father. We've seen the talent. He couldn't win. He couldn't win the lightsaber battle. He had to throw that shit away and not fight. people forget that fucking lesson, you know?
Yeah. Darren says TBF. What's that mean? What's TBF stand for?
To be
To be
frank, fair.
Oh, to be fair, to Star Wars theory, all he cares about in the show is seeing Kenobi and Vader, Anakin doing cool shit. He doesn't care about anything else really. And the truth is that if that's all that it was, then we ultimately no one would care about it. You know what I mean? And it's you get. I believe in the series you get a complete Darth Vader experience. I feel like it does in a healthy way all of the check boxes. You have Darth Vader being put together. You got Darth Vader getting taken apart. You got Darth Vader in a fucking tank. You got Darth Vader confronting Kenobi twice. You got Padme being brought up. You know what I mean? Like it's all there. Like everything that you could possibly want is there. And then Kenobi, once again, I mean, the thing about him is he is one of my favorite Star Wars. It's kind of weird. I feel like he's one of my favorite Star Wars characters, but I think he's more of one of my favorite Star Wars people as opposed to one of my favorite Star Wars characters, like in a way, because he doesn't always necessarily like he experiences things, but he doesn't really, you know.
Remember when they used this for their marketing for Revenge of the Sith? Vader's mask was on everything, and Vader
Yeah.
don't show up in the film to the very fucking end for like
Yeah.
1 second. Remember that, folks? Remember
Mhm.
how you keep telling me this shit's the fucking best Star Wars movie ever made?
It
Like,
is.
just think, then just accept that, like, and just accept it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, but the truth of the matter is that it, like I've said, like Darth Vader cannot progress as a character. There's just nowhere for him to go, other than getting more pissed off. You can make him more pissed off. That's pretty much all that you can do. So, and if you have a series where nobody changes, where there is no character changes for anybody involved in the story, that's honestly where new characters become important. That's why, like in Star Wars: The Clone Wars, that's why you needed Ahsoka Tano. And for the record, Reva is not our Ahsoka Tano, but it is why you needed Ahsoka Tano. It's why you needed Captain Rex, because they're characters who were there that you never knew about, that you have no idea what the outcomes are, and now you can follow and you can wonder, I hope they're going to live. I hope they're going to be okay.
in between 2 films.
Yeah.
I think
All 8 seasons. Sorry, Max.
no, I think that a lot of you know, fans like will watch the movies, especially like the old ones, and just kind of have blinders on, like it's only this way, and like absolutely nothing, you know, can be explained in a different way, or you know what I mean?
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
I think it's
Yeah. Oh, well, also too, you if you are having established characters who are doing things, sometimes you do need new characters to look at them as to kind of think where you're going with that in a way. Like you need new characters to observe them and to make observations about, like, boy, that Anakin guy, what's he doing now? Or he's amazing, but you know, like, and that's what Ahsoka and Rex do.
And I'm not gonna lie, I think sometimes something was introduced, and I'm like, especially when Ahsoka was introduced, I was like, wait, he didn't have a Padawan, and then I was thinking, well, they never said he
Never
did.
said he didn't.
So okay,
Yeah.
let's
It's
watch it.
ridiculous. It's ridiculous, Max. But you know, they made that character work over a period of time, but it's plumb ridiculous. You know, like I got over it. I didn't not seen the film. I went and saw it. It just wasn't a good film.
Yeah. No, that's fair.
Except that they made that relationship work over the course of however many seasons. I get all that.
It took about about a season and a half, and then they I think repaired it. They got rid of the cringy elements of it very heavily.
But it is ridiculous that Anakin had a Padawan and we went through all this shit, you know? Like, it's ridiculous.
Yeah. I felt like it, but I also felt like now I was interested in seeing what they did with it. Whereas before that, I thought, yeah, I know they're going to be like, oh God, these Clone Wars, they're so grueling. And he's going to be like, oh, I'm getting mad, making more bad choices with my anger. Like, you know what I mean? And like, if that's all that it was for 100 episodes, fucking no, thank you. You know, that's at the end of the day. And now here we are years later, over a decade later. And I'm wondering if Captain Rex is going to show up in every fucking series that comes, because I want to know, and I'm curious and I want to see it. But at the same, if Reva lived, they would have they might even have a point, but she doesn't even live.
But what the most ridiculous part is them thinking like Lucas wouldn't have done. Like he did that. That Lucas did that. Like this is exactly what Lucas has been doing since Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
Like since Return of the Jedi. Like
Mhm.
this is what he's been doing.
Yeah.
Like,
He's like, you maroons.
Humor.
What a maroon. Of course I'm gonna introduce new shit. Why not?
Shadow Ostrich became a channel member. Thank you,
Yay.
Shadow Ostrich.
I like that name.
All hell, Lambhead, and
They're
Shadow
friends.
Ostrich.
Lambhead and Shadow Ostrich are friends.
I appreciate the support, Mr. Shadow. Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Ostrich. Can I call you Shadow?
Or Miss Ostrich, we don't know.
he's German. It's Ostrich.
Super Shadow Ostrich.
Ostrich? Yes.
Yeah,
Ooh,
but-
hardcore ostrich.
I appreciate it. It means a lot.
Awesome.
Thank you very much.
I imagine the episode 1 poster where it's just got like an ostrich in the ground, but the shadow of the ostrich with his head in the ground is on the wall, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Aria says, Jason, you should contact Josh if you could come on Nerd Theory today. They love bringing in people and you would carry the show to a next level. Thank you for that. That's a nice endorsement. Josh asked me, and then I actually DM'd him and said, hey, I got a story. I'll come on your show and bring it if you want. And then he was like, he gave me the like, we'll be in touch, cool guy kind of thing. And so I was like, okay. And then I never heard from him again. So like I said, I'm of the opinion that I probably don't help with the hit in the beehive. Like if I come and if I was, I don't know, maybe I make it worse. But if I came and I diffused things, I don't think diffusing things leads to much. So yeah. that is I think where we're at with all of this, you know. So that is my opinion. But I would gladly, you know, I would gladly go and set the record straight if they ever wanted to. They could come on here. I don't need to go to their audience. It would be nice to go to their audience, obviously, but I would not mind. Yeah, Bespin, I'm trying to look younger so that way I can go party with you and, you know, see what's going on. He's all damn. Jason sucked the force out of Ben and Ray. I'm living in power.
I drink your Skywalker.
Yeah. Yeah. No, and you know, I think he's a very solid YouTuber. I think he does YouTube well. I think anybody trying to do YouTube who, you know, could learn a lot from him. So I'm not trying to like shit on him, but I really don't agree with this current like stream of things. And if it is innocent, it definitely has like a bad side that's coming out. And I hope they pick up that slack and deal with that bad side. You know, if you're hitting a beehive and the bees start flying around, you know, everyone else is getting stung with it. It's kind of up to you to take care of it. And instead it's like making me appear to be some kind of Disney shill by just being like, you know, a savage cabbage. We just got a grip. But you know, MB says if some character created specifically for this could debatably be considered the hero of a series because Obi-Wan and touted as the rematch of the century, it's a problem to many. Can't blame them. No, but nobody would ever say she's the hero of the series. Like like here's the thing, okay? Here's my analogy, okay?
You got me.
No. Here's the thing. If I walk into a store today and the cash register's open and there's $100 just right there on it, and I don't take the $100 and walk out of it, that doesn't make me a hero. It just means I didn't do the wrong thing. That's not killing a child.
They
is not
just want him to walk around slaughtering people the way Vader did, because that's what a real hero does. Jason, do you understand it? Obi-Wan should just be killing everyone like John Wick. Like they think the Jedi are literally 80s action heroes. They've learned nothing. You know, like the power. They've learned nothing from Luke throwing away his lightsaber and not. Could you imagine if the Return of the Jedi came out right now? These motherfuckers are thinking, he doesn't beat Vader. He's supposed to be the best. Skywalker's the best Jedi, and he just throws it away and gets. Vader has to save him.
Yep. That's
They've
the
learned
world we live
nothing.
in. No,
The guy who walks around and kills people before they do things is the bad guy. That's our government. We go and, you know, we walk into a country and say, you might do something, so we're going to blow your country up. Are the villains.
If you watch Obi-Wan Kenobi start off the series laying on a stone slab, completely defeated, unable to call out to his master, being just a depressed, just husk of a human, and you leave the end of this show with him talking to Qui-Gon Jinn at the very end, and you leave and go, she's the hero, something else is fundamentally either broken in the series or the viewer. I don't know which, but I mean, something else is wrong. And it's not that the bad guy just doesn't do the worst thing possible. It would be like watching Star Wars Rebels. And even though he does become a good guy, but it would be like saying, what's the guy's name? Callus. It'd be like saying Callus is the hero, main character of Rebels. Just because at the end of the day, he's not an imperialist who wants to completely follow through on eradicating a whole race of people.
Mhm.
You know, it's like I said, it's broken logic purposely, I think. And hey, Josh, if I'm picking on you too much, I'm sorry, but I really do think you are off on this. And you're, like I said, welcome to come on the show anytime you want. I personally can't stand Star Wars theory. Like many, he puts lore canon above storytelling whilst purporting to be a creator. In reality, all he does is rehash the same prequel memes and harbors toxic racists. So that's a fair perspective to have. I'm going to try to be the Obi-Wan Kenobi here and have hope that if that is not truly the case, but it does seem like that definitely does happen at times.
I didn't know that part. The times that I've seen his shows, I haven't really seen that. But
yeah, I'm bad at this. I'm really believe I'm like, if you know, you can have a shit sense of humor all you want, that's fine with me. But if you truly are like, you know, sexist, if you truly are racist, if you aren't capable of learning new things, I don't really want you in my audience. Fuck off. We don't need you. We don't want
and
you.
they just get to spend a whole, rather than being like, I'm so excited this thing's coming out, they get to spend the whole next month just being angry about some shit that they're then going to eventually hate watch for no reason. And then like I wasn't angry about Boba Fett leading up to it. Oh, this fucking no. Oh, I'd be like, I don't know what the show's about.
Here's what'll happen.
I mean?
Here's what'll happen. He'll do this big thing right now where he's like, oh my god, everybody, oh god, Rev is the main character, Kenobi's barely in the show, and then it'll come out, and then he's gonna look and see which way the wind's blowing, and then whichever way the wind's blowing, very positive. Oh my god, it was so good. I am sold. I wasn't, but now I am. And if the wind's blowing this way, then oh my god, then he continues what he's already started, and he's out ahead of the curve. It's actually it's kind of a smart grift. If it is a grift, but once again, it does appear to be one. But
they're all wealthier than us, so they're all very smart at making money. But you know, selling your soul is a whole nother fucking problem.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, my Prius might be able to beat a Lambo in a race, though. The Prius is pretty fast. Maybe. No, okay, it's not that fast. Star Wars politics is, it's just like people getting upset that we have a Mando, Grogu, Luke arc in the Book of Boba Fett. But even that right there is actually, like, I think a more valid criticism, because it literally halted the forward momentum of Boba's arc and where it was going. And then it was like, hey, remember me at the end all of a sudden. This doesn't do that. So it's actually like not like it at all. It's completely like a just completely different thing altogether. So is this series titled after a character's name? How dare they tell other characters' stories? Yeah, but and I know you're being facetious there, but it's like in this story, I don't really think it like over 6 episodes we get Rev tidbits as she's hunting him down. It's not like I don't think that perspective holds any water. And I don't think if you read my articles that you could logically come away with that perspective. It does read disingenuous to me. As a True says, I'm now convinced the prequels, The Force Unleashed, other games affected this younger generation, and they think killing someone is the only way. They want soldiers and Jedi killing, not human feelings. You could be right. You very well could be right. I do think that a lot of times we do miss the point, like what Rob was saying. Luke throws down his lightsaber and he doesn't fight. And that's ultimately how he wins. And in this story, Kenobi doesn't rush in and cut off Reva's head saying there could be only one, and then the quickening happens. That doesn't happen. He lets her go about her thing. It's a risk. It truly is. It's calculated to some degree, but she could have killed Luke right then, and she didn't do it. So he lets her walk away. But and this is the question we have to ask. Does everybody in that room know that Reva's committing suicide in that moment? They may. That may be a heroic thing that she does. Everyone may be like, I don't need to kill her. She just killed herself.
What have I become? And what
sweetest friend.
For me, but what left is there? What can I what little can I do to make amends for whatever I've done?
Yeah.
Who I've become. In what way can I try? It can't fix everything, but what way can I go about to try to make this right? You know?
Yeah.
That ultimately, as you've already reported on, holds little water because Vader doesn't quite buy that story anyway. But you know.
Well, and here's the part this plays into it. Star Wars Politics says, I was happy to hear the Reva leak. It confirmed one of my predictions that she will sacrifice herself to save Kenobi. She doesn't do the job she was meant, and Vader strikes her down. So, but once again, like there's, based off of what I know, she reports, then she's killed because she's lying. They know Darth Vader just fought Kenobi, and the person who he was fighting would not die to this person. In a weird way, it's almost diminishing. I was afraid of the opposite here when I was reporting it, because it diminishes her. Actually, she's not in the league of Kenobi and Vader. And what's funny is, and the story tells you that in that moment, you aren't in that league. Boom, you're dead. You're done. And I know because I just fought the guy. And so, but once again, I don't know if does Reva go back believing I'm going to go back to my old life. They're just going to buy this. Or does Reva go back like, you know what, I'm going to die, but I'm done. And does that but once again, does it make you a hero that you wouldn't murder a kid? I'm going to say no. It just makes you a human. It just means that there's humanity in you. I mean, you know, just because you didn't do the worst thing doesn't make you a hero. That's a big fucking... It
gives her a chance to atone to herself for nothing else. To something you could do.
Mm-hmm.
If you murder, I'm not going to be a person that runs around murdering a fucking bunch of people. You know what I mean? No matter what happens in this world, I'm not going to join the dark side.
Why not? I'm just kidding.
Or you know, I mean,
I'm kidding.
Or they wear spandex, Max. I can't get behind this, but like, you get really bulbous heads,
dude. But, I like it's weird. Like I have I knew somebody who was a drone pilot in the Afghanistan and Iraq wars, and they would see terrible things through drones.
Yeah.
And but they ended up with really bad post-traumatic stress. And in my conversations with them one time, I pretty much learned that yet they were very much okay with dropping bombs on groups of dudes in trucks in the middle of the desert. But it was when it was like a target, like a wedding, and there were children there. That was a fucking difference for them. That's when it changed. And so we have our ways we're able to deal with and conceptualize murder. And then we have, and what's that?
Padme finds it hot though, truly.
No, Padme gets fucking wet as fuck. She's truly, like leaking. I'm squirting right now.
Yeah.
You know?
I want to have your baby.
Don't kink shame her though. Don't kink shame Padme. We do not kink shame on this show.
That Attack of the Clones is a treasure trove. If you dig, you're gonna find just all sorts of little jewels in the sand.
Oh yeah, and I'm gonna throw it out there. When you see Padme in
on
that
giving.
outfit by the fireplace, she's in the pegging too, so he had to be as well. There's no way they can make it work otherwise. I'm not
Peggy 13.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Peggy,
So
Peggy 18.
uh-oh, you're in trouble. Scott says, this sketch dude loves passing judgment. He must think his opinion matters.
From the guy whose icon says excommunicado.
Uh-oh.
It's not even hard. It's not even hard, D. Scott. Sure. I love it. Does it sound like I'm having a good time? You know what I love to do is make Santa Claus jokes, and I was gonna do a whole Tony the Tiger thing today. I don't know we're gonna. I hate these fucking dudes. You know, these fucking. I walked away from Star Wars for the better part of 10 years, 2005 to 2015. You know, there was a good 10-year run. And even when I had to work on it at work, it was like I took no love. You know.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, no. I never once, you're not going to find some weird account where I was complaining and bitching and trying to start up a fucking fire or shitting on everyone's good time when they loved fucking Clone Wars. Never, not one time, you know?
Yeah.
So I don't understand why they got to do this. You
Well,
know?
whenever
and if I'm the guy who's like, well, you don't like that? They got a right to do that. Well, they're fucking assholes for doing it.
Well, whenever you go on to watch somebody's show, they're going to share their opinions. So if the people's show that you're watching, their opinions don't matter to you, you shouldn't watch their show, and you should do what Harrison Ford usually says you should do.
Get the fuck out of my house.
I love that one. I love that. I don't know how he had to plant that fruit before he got in there, right? Like he had to have.
Probably.
You know what? You can't really use magic, right?
No. Unfortunately, no.
Use magic.
Yeah. But I really literally cannot give 1 second of my life. I could give millions of moments of my life to Star Wars, speculating on endless bullshit of nothing, but David Blaine magic tricks and how they work, just can't do it.
Don't rain on my frosted flakes.
All right.
Don't piss on my frosted
They're great. That's all I can do. I can't do the real voice. He's too deep. He has a deep voice, that Tony the Tiger guy.
So Star Wars Politics says, I think it's safe to say Reva finds her way back to the light also. It's a great story arc. I was all for it from the start, but how dare they make a show titled Kenobi and tell other stories? Yeah, see, that's one of the things about her story that I'm curious about as we go on. Like, she believes that the Jedi that initially raised her are shitheads. They're evil, but Kenobi's not. And she's going to see this guy not being a shithead, which also may have a lot to play on her going, maybe her beliefs are challenged. But I don't actually know that. I can't say for certain 100%, you know. But it could go that way, and so like that, but that would be speculation on my part. You know what I mean? And that's what kind of sucks about.
Ow.
I wish I could go back in time to like about this time around last year when was it about this time? It was like until summer to Marchish, when I was getting all of the stuff and to start going like, hey, so here's, you know, I could predict what I think people are going to freak out about. And I originally what people were going to freak out about is Kenobi leaves Tatooine, but they just moved the goalposts. Okay, I could accept that. Let's just move the goalpost to what we're going to freak out about next, and it continues and it continues and it continues. So, Dildo Gaggins, great name, beautiful avatar, beautiful person.
This is a little Machiavelli of Disney, but I've been thinking about it, right? Like, for the longest time, we've been hearing about, does Obi-Wan leave Tatooine or not? And there have been two points of view on this. One, they should do a whole series where he's just on Tatooine, he doesn't leave, and that it's perfectly. So you could watch. I'd watch 7 episodes, 3 seasons of it. Right. That's one thing. The other one is, yeah, he had other adventures. We don't know what he did during that time. Who knows? You know, like you could create some shit. So, and here's the Machiavelli part. Ready for this? they take Boba Fett and they keep him on Tatooine and put that right before the Obi-Wan series, so he never leaves that fucking planet. So you want to see anything else but Tatooine when you get done with that series. Now I know, crazy, right? But look, because now when people saw the first teaser, like, please tell me he gets off that fucking planet. Please tell me we're not going to sit on Tatooine for another fucking. We're going to get a whole nother series about a dude on Tatooine.
Yeah. Well, the thing too is it's like, you know, if you look up the structure of the show that Arya is mentioning here, you have Obi-Wan and Darth Vader fighting, the big duel, the big fight, the actual big fight. We have that end, and he has to get back to Tatooine. He has to return home before she kills Luke. But when she gets there, she can't do it. And then she's allowed to walk away, and she doesn't do it. She doesn't do the thing. She doesn't commit the crime. She doesn't do the time. She leaves. And then we get to the Qui-Gon moment and then Qui-Gon appears to Obi-Wan, and it's like, so if you literally edit out the whole ending, and here's the other thing I've talked about that I'm going to probably elaborate on, I hope soon, is that there's like Obi-Wan does like a funeral for the dead people. He has like this like little like ceremony. I think it's at the end, but I've never been sure if the ceremony for Nari and stuff and for the dead Jedi is at the start or at the end. It's at the start of the first episode or the end. I don't know. And but that does happen. There's like it's really, really taking a lot of shit, you know, out of context.
Well, and
Arya,
what you said before about the real life soldiers not wanting, you know, it's different when it's children. This isn't like Rev. I imagine it's not going to be. And Reva goes, now remember, only your kid lives because I let you live. It's I can't live with myself and kill a kid. You know, some innocent little fucking dude. You know what I mean? Who ain't got nothing to do with the Jedi. He's just living out here peacefully in the fucking desert with this. I can't live with myself. I can't commit this crime.
Yeah.
You know, I can't do this. Like, what's wrong? But you could twist that and go, see, it's because of her. Like, that's not what the characters are. It's not what they're doing. You know, you could easily twist. You have to really twist that to fit some ulterior agenda to believe that. But okay.
I like what Dell points out here. Reva is the same basic premise as Maul finding Kenobi. It's the realization he's not just a rat in hiding. He's protecting the chosen one, but he still thinks Luke will avenge the Sith and Jedi. You know, and like at the end of the day, though, yeah, I mean, Maul figures it out too, and no one ever said Star Wars Rebels is about Maul now. Maul's the main character. Maul stole it from Kenobi. You know what I mean, though?
Such a rebel, Maul. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Turns out his first name is Rebel. Yeah.
Rebel.
Darth. He's for Rebel. Mr. Rebel
I think it's
Maul.
Darth Rebel Wilson. Is his Maul Rebel Wilson? No, Pitch Perfect.
Don't drag her into this. Poor actress. She got nothing to do with this.
I don't know anything about her. I don't give a shit. Tyrant says, nah, Rob, we hope that we are just using dog whistling to drive views. But at recent times have proven way too many of these people have proven to be true believers. But then my puberty fell off. So what are we going to do? You know?
I like how when it falls to the ground, eyes blink, it gets up and it picks up its little fucking tuft and walks off. Like
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Keeman is saying, do you regret reporting the story? I personally think it would have been better if just let it play out live, knowing how fans are. Well, I feel that overall, whenever you get to hear the spoilers of what's going to happen, it actually enhances. I mean, studies have shown this, that people who've read novels or read spoilers enjoy the actual visual product more. And I'm of that opinion too. I feel like I like knowing it helps. Now, do I regret that if this thing that I did allowed for this other thing to happen that was less cool? That part's where I do feel just like regret about it. But I also I don't know at what point am I not responsible. Like Like I tell people, don't go around telling people who don't want to know spoilers. But then there's people who go and do it. Does that mean that I don't do it? Well, does that make me the asshole? Because am I enabling them? Maybe, but not. But it's still think it's on them. So I feel like if you have a big audience and a big platform, I mean, like what's that guy who used to be on Collider? What's the show called now? The Sith Council guy, Harloff. Yeah, like Harloff. Like that guy will take, when he does read spoilers, will take the spoilers, but I think he actually like reports them mostly responsibly from memory. I don't remember that guy ever going in and then like going like and like misreporting things I said. Sometimes he would give credit to Star Wars Newsnet as if it was there just because he read it there, which I thought was pretty dumb. But that said, my personal grievances aside, I don't feel like they're like that guy right there is at that same level in terms of audience, and I feel like he reported on the stories as for what they were and gave them the respect and the room and the levity that they required. But I feel like this other way is literally just knowing, you know, what's gonna freak people out. You know what I mean?
And, Jason, when you're doing the show, it's your personal general grievances. So you know.
Yeah.
You
So
have to say it that way.
Okay, this is a nice change. I mean, because I just talk about myself the whole time as a narcissist on the show. EoinCon 999, I think is how you said it. Eoin. I don't know how you say it,
It's
but
the Riddler.
It's a riddle. What are your opinions of the ending of Kenobi? My opinion is that it was a very super tight, well-written ending.
You said tight.
And yeah, and I was, you know, and I really do. Like I said, I you know, what's it called? Chekhov's gun? The whole Chekhov's gun concept, like where you introduce something and then it better pay off. And I think that a lot of times with Star Wars, you'll have Chekhov's gun. And they're like, oh, and that's why he's got a dent in his head when he hits his head. It's like, that's like, it's so far away. It doesn't count to me. It's at the point, it's just like a callback that's meant to like make people like excited about things. Whereas when you go this other way, when you go like, oh, we put the T-16 in episode 1 and it exemplifies the conflict. And then the T-16 shows up at the end and shows some sort of resolution of the conflict. I love it.
Revolution.
I love that. Uh-huh. The
revelation.
The revelation.
Yeah.
Oh, I got it. Yeah. So I
just want to know,
that.
Jason, how does all this tie into the events of Rogue Planet? You know, like
well, plants. There were plants there.
That was a weird story.
Yeah.
It also had Obi-Wan basically driving a lightsaber through Anakin's head on the cover. But I mean, like, it's one of the worst cover jobs ever done to Star Wars.
But let's like roll it back just a little bit. We do have more villains than just Darth Vader. And Darth Vader is the primary villain of the saga, but of the story, the one who's chasing him from day one is Reva, the one who is on, and she, you know, so just one of the main villains. And what ending doesn't take away from this all? And so what, she just should have been like, Kenobi, now I've got you. No, you don't, you fucking bitch. And it cuts her head off. And then that's like the end of it. That's really, I mean, you have like kind of two ways of going, cutting her fucking head off or something else. And they went with the something else. And I think that I like the irony in this. Is it irony?
Irony.
About the I'm trying not to be an Alanis Morissette here, but at the very end, Darth Vader could know that he has a living son. He's this close to figuring it out, but he kills the only other person really who could tell him. He kills that person because the Sith methodology is ultimately flawed. You know what I'm saying? And like, you know, he's that close. And I had somebody message me and it was like innocent. It wasn't like, you know, anything nefarious about it, but they're like, hey, shouldn't he have interrogated her before? And it's like, I don't think Darth Vader even knows there's a reason to. He just thinks this. He has his assumption, his first held belief. This fucking lady's just lying to me, acting like she killed him for clout on
It's
YouTube.
impulsive.
I'm not gonna kill her, and he kills her. I mean, that's like at the end of the day, he's just like, you lied, and if you had done it, I couldn't have killed you this easily, could I? And had she put up a fight, he would have been like, okay, I believe you now. But that's not what happens, because and ultimately he's right. But in the bigger point, he's wrong, and he's missing the whole point of everything. And that's why when those two guys meet up again next time, and Kenobi is like, if you strike me down, I'll become more powerful than you could possibly imagine. Even then, Vader is still in that same mode because he can't change. He cannot evolve. Episode 3, the guy that goes, "Where's Padme?" comes out, and that's the guy until he sees his son later on. Until his son would rather die than join the dark side. Until you know what I mean. And one other thing I also brought up is that if we want to believe in a cohesive, bigger story here at play, if we want to take all of what everything means and how we could go, that's not what it originally was. All we want. I'm fucking done with it. That's not, if you're going to watch living Star Wars, you need to treat it as a living, breathing document. And so Luke keeping his name is smart, ultimately. Luke Skywalker, because they call him young Skywalker. The whole fucking time, Darth Vader, Anakin, is being reminded of the man he used to be. And it's not till he sees his son truly being the man he used to be that he vanquishes Palpatine in Return of the Jedi and does what he set out to do originally.
Yeah. I get that when he joins Obi-Wan and decides to fight openly against the Empire. What I don't get is when they're trying to protect him on a planet where there's stormtroopers every fucking 6 feet, Like anytime they go to town to get some food, if he should have just had Luke Lars, your real name was Skywalker, but your Lars, I don't know.
I know,
past that.
No, and I think that they could add that, but we never say Luke Skywalker, say he's Luke Skywalker until he is a Padawan. Before he's a Padawan, he never says he's Luke Skywalker.
I forget, yeah, Padawan, sure, okay.
Yeah,
some other retconning Lucas did.
But once again, you're doing what they're doing.
Doesn't count, that shit.
You either take it all in as a living, breathing document, like our Constitution.
I clearly did interviews, Rob, where I talked about the Padawans before. You didn't listen to anything that I said. You're just recontextualizing bullshit for clicks. Oh, I'm sorry, George. Sorry. What, you think you know everything? You have fucking opinions and shit, Wait till you get divorced and she takes half.
He's right. You're right there.
I have not learned anything.
Your Lucas is
Reva's divorcing Kenobi. She's taking half the show. That's the real lesson we're learning. That's the real Lucas lesson.
Return of the Reva. Tyrant says breaking. Reva will be the main person in Kenobi. Was started by Tony Gilroy. So as usual, fuck that guy.
Tyrant, you need to foreplay before you go rough. All right, you go right for the big F. Give him some flowers, little karaoke, some shawarma.
I don't think we're gonna see Anakin in that. Oh yeah, that was the other thing in Josh's video. Is he when he reads the part, he I am making an analogy that Reva was one of those kids in the Jedi Temple. She was a child. I'm not saying she was in the room when Anakin kills all those kids. Just to be very clear, in case anybody got confused, but he seemed to think that or imply that in his video, by the way. And I don't mean to imply that. I was like, I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying she was a kid in the Jedi Temple when it happened. She's probably 15, 16. How old do you think she is? 25?
27 and
27.
It's
so
10
she's
years after.
Yeah, it's 10 years after. So I'm saying, how old do you think Reva is supposed to be? I'd
say 27, 28.
I thought she was about 25 personally, so I was thinking she's teenager. Fandom Empire, channel member, friend, associate, fighter, cook, Ferret Daddy. Phantom Empire says, I'm way behind in this episode, but wouldn't the simple explanation be Reva's lightsaber looks completely different than Anakin's? That's the point I was making in the video when I showed that video. That's why I put it there. I'm like, it's like a half moon thing with double sides. Yeah. He says he's a little bit behind. Yeah. So
well, that's why I gave Dooku a crooked old man's dick lightsaber. Because, they're not all shaped the same.
Well, Lucas, I believe you were saying that it represents gravity over time in the Star Wars universe.
Sometimes they go, you never know which way they're gonna, it's a surprise for
Max.
Yes.
Max, is this better, or is this better?
I like this.
This is better, right?
Yeah.
That's what I was hoping. Griffin Campbell says the sky is falling every 30 seconds for these people. I get that it's a YouTube game, but the beauty is that nothing can ever take away from our initial memories of Star Wars or the core 6 film saga, or whatever. I think whatever gets you off.
I think I have a little PTSD from my childhood because I had the internet in the form of two uncles. Who were the guys from War Games, the nerd and the fat fucking dude over at MIT, those guys, that were my uncles. And they would incessantly talk about this bullshit. Where I remember, people might fondly remember a movie called Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan. Some people would say the finest of all Star Trek films. Not to my uncles, because Chekhov wasn't in the Seeds of Destiny fucking episode, Space Seed, and he couldn't have possibly known Khan. And this doesn't make... I mean, I had to hear this shit, like, forever. Anytime I was like, I like The Wrath of Khan. Nope! It couldn't have happened! So, like this... My God, and they used to make fun of Star Trek fans for being that way in the 80s. William Shatner went on Saturday Night Live and he told them, get a life, on that Saturday Night Live episode, because Star Wars fans just eventually became that, Yeah.
I keep asking myself, like Griffin says, the sky is falling every 30 seconds for these people. I get that it's a YouTube game, but the beauty is nothing can ever take away from our initial memories. But it's like, when you look at it, like how do we get past this? Like, how do we get better? How do we get better than this?
It's an illness.
You know what I mean, though?
I don't know.
Yeah. Like, I mean, I hate to say it, but I mean, it's like, I'm
anthropological guy.
I can be legitimate news. And then Fox News comes in. And then does their thing, and then nobody cares about the real news, which is fair. Don't care about me. I don't care. But it's like the crazy news wins over the real news. It's strange. And once again, I'm not anti-opinion, for the record. Like, people could not like it or whatever, but you do need to actually gauge it upon its actual context. And I gave a lot of grounding, give a fuck ton of grounding before we got to the end of this series. So to get to the end of the series after all of the grounding I've given, and then to go it's a Reva show.
Well, it's just that people like drama. I mean,
is it just the immaturity of YouTube, and there's nothing that we can do to get past it? I mean, maybe that's true. I would like to find a way, even if it's Star Wars, somebody like Star Wars May or something who could, but but it does
love that Bad Batch though.
She loves that Bad Batch.
She loves the Bad Batch.
Watching her show, she's like, I'm so excited. I can't wait for the show. And I'm like, I wish I had that feeling.
I'm looking forward to getting together with her and Bespin and us all squirting about Andor. It's going to be a good time. After she says, I can give you that every content creator knows what they're doing. Negative stuff gets 100 times more views. They play dumb on purpose. So, yeah.
I just said they love the drama. People love the drama.
Yeah, that's true. 100,000 subscribers. I think he knows what he's talking about. I think he understands the medium pretty well. So Griffin says, this show could suck. We don't know. Revenge of the Sith and A New Hope still exist either way. It's true.
I think even our show. I was like,
the show could,
I don't know.
Griffin's like, look, this show does suck. But yeah.
Rob just needs to shut up.
Well, you know what, Griffin? No, I mean, Griffin, that's ultimately been my perspective on all of this. Is I had 6 Star Wars films that I truly love, warts and all, and anything else that they throw out is just like adds to it. It doesn't really take away. Even Book of Boba Fett's probably my least favorite Star Wars story in live action in canon of modern time. Even though it doesn't ruin anything for me, it just makes me a little bit like, hey, maybe I don't really care about, fucking 50-year-old Boba Fett's adventures. Maybe I care more about young Boba Fett's adventures, or maybe whatever, or maybe this period of his life I just don't care about. Maybe when he
loses, ageist comment,
right? But for his Boba Fett at whatever age he is a little bit boring at times. A little bit boring at times.
He's in the ice cream age.
Oh, did I ever tell you about the second best day of my life?
Did you watch Aeronaut's new Larry trailer?
Oh, it was good. Larry.
Ooh, so
I love Larry. I love Larry.
You
There's
would
a new
love
one.
Larry.
It's so good. The strut. The age of the strut.
Spectacular Moment says the Emperor will show you the true nature of the Force. Not in this series. Ian Coin says, will Anakin be in the opening scene? No, he will not be. But hey, Timmy, how's it going? Thanks for hanging out with us today. By the way, I watched Top Gun over the weekend with my kid because I want to go see Top Gun Part 2. It was a good time. We had fun.
All right.
When I was watching that, I was like, we want to see the Top Gun 2 trailer. She's like, yeah. And boy, does that opening with that, is it an F-16? Is that the jet that they have? They almost F-18. The F-18. It's almost the shot in Timmy's thing as it's coming at us. It's very much an Episode 9 shot if you look at it. It looks very similar vibes to that. But of course, that looks pretty amazing what they're doing with that new Top Gun movie. I'm looking forward to it, actually. I do have to say, though,
F-18s.
I haven't, CinemaCon, people were like going away crying, saying it was so amazing and stuff like that. And CinemaCon, though, is also meant about cheerleading the movie industry and getting your ass in a seat throughout the year. So I'm a little bit like there's a pessimism to me about hearing about that. But the only thing I gotta say is I don't know if you can do those one-liners. You know what I mean? Your egos cashing or writing checks your body can't cash. Do we get those kind of one-liners like throughout it consistently?
I think it's more of a dramatic story.
Yeah.
I'm fairly certain they're not trying to recreate that film.
And that's what makes me wonder if it works for me in the end. But that girl
man. I know
that woman's hot
McQuarrie,
though.
Chris McQuarrie put a lot of effort into this one on the script side with them.
Yeah.
Like he did a lot of work with them on it. So,
but his DMs weren't open for Rogue One, and he got mad at me about that. So I don't know if I trust his. No, I'm kidding.
He's got excellent hair too. That guy.
Does he?
Fuck, yeah.
Well, fuck him then. Get out of here with your fucking fancy Tom Cruise money and your F-18s. You're really flying in, so your face goes like this. Fuck you. No, I'm gonna go see it opening weekend. I think I'm pretty excited for it. Actually, it looks cool. The one thing though, what was actually hard to find is they're like in jets, right? And they're really like getting the G-force in the face and reacting, and they have like 6 IMAX cameras. This is what the press junket keeps telling us over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. And I'm like, cool, looks rad. I want to see what you guys did with it. But they really are trying, I believe, to make you believe they're flying the jets. It took me like 20 minutes last night to figure out, is anybody actually ever flying the jet? And no, the Navy wouldn't let them. And but finding that answer, boy, was that buried. And they go through some very creative writing like hoops to make you think they're flying the jets. A lot of people believe they're flying the jets. I don't give a shit if they are, but I was curious if they were.
Like X-wings.
Yeah, but I wanted to know how are the jets being flown? Is it the person in the rear? I don't know. Like, are they remote controlled? How are they?
They would be, the person would be in the front. This would be in the back. It just depends on how they set it.
But Tom Cruise is in the front in the shots.
Huh?
Right?
I don't fucking know, man. Look, the fact that you can't even tell what's going on means they've done their job.
Bro,
That's how good they've done their job.
No, I believe Tom Cruise is sitting in the front, so I don't know if you're able to fly the jet from the back. And that's
They
how
could
they're
have had
doing
someone right behind him, so you just can't be in shot. I'm sure they can rig it up to where someone can be out of shot.
Yeah, well,
they've done that before.
Like in the original Top Gun, the co-pilots don't do anything but ask dumb questions. Where are we moving, Maverick? What's going on? Like they don't do. Oh, I'm taking pictures. Like they don't do anything.
right.
I have no idea from that movie what a co-pilot does.
I don't think
I have
I've
no
even
idea
seen that movie.
what Goose does. I have no fucking clue.
I wanted them to have a tow cable, like, and I was like, Dak
Yeah.
had a tow cable. Give him a little fucking gun back there.
I know
then-
more about what Dak does in Star Wars from retrospect than what Goose is doing the whole time.
The problem, though, Jason, is you are forgetting Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. The reason why they don't give them a weapon is they can shoot their fucking tail fin right off. I'm sorry, son. They got us.
That's one of my favorite moments in Indiana Jones movies. So it's so good.
And he just doesn't tell him. He lies.
Eric asked, do you guys think there will be a Vader series? Honestly, I think that everything to do in a Vader series is done in this one. And like I keep saying about it, Darth Vader can't change. So if they were to do a Vader series, it would be things that the comics have kind of already shat on. And for the record, I believe if it happened in a comic, it means they had no intention of going there. You know what I mean? That's
I thought if they wanted to do a series that would be interesting, that could feature Vader in some way, just call that shit Order 66, and it could be an anthology of like 6 different Jedi and what happened to them when the shit goes down. And it's happening like simultaneously across 7 different locations, you know?
Yeah.
Some made it, some didn't. You know what I mean? Vader's there, other people there. Like, just that pandemonium, you know, is a era where you're right for just telling like, the show 24 Hours, like 24 hours, you know, for like 6 different fucking Jedis, you know?
So Pioneer
it's about
says,
it.
what the show is called
Vader
Obi-Wan.
too.
It takes place between the 2 most beloved trilogies. I mean, that is delusional, dude. If you think you don't watch the show called Obi-Wan and expect side characters to be the driving, if you think that, don't watch Kenobi. Yeah, well, it's like, yeah, of course, it's like they're going to be more. Any TV series is going to have other characters. I mean, you watch Murder, She Wrote. Sometimes Angela Lansbury.
Oh no, Daredevil only had Daredevil. There was no other characters in that show.
Oh, Daredevil. Well,
Right?
then there we go.
There was no other characters. It was just Daredevil.
Pioneer says, not excited now. Looking forward to Twitter and YouTube content, though. You just want to see shit get thrown around.
Like a
We are
monkey.
watching it 2:00 in the morning. We can't wait to see Pioneers Got Arrows right here at 2 in the morning when we're all reviewing the first episode. Sure.
I mean, I would think like the problem would be more if Reva shows up in Obi-Wan and Anakin Darth Vader's fight, and then all of a sudden Obi-Wan wins because she helps him.
She
That
puts
would
the
have
saber
been
in there. You know?
Yeah.
All right, learner.
It's like, good to see you back. She's like, I was born a Jedi and I'll die a Jedi.
And she cuts his hand off and looks back at Obi-Wan. She goes, "There's no good in him."
Yeah.
You know? Just machines, you know? He's more machine now than man, right? Like she just says all of his lines to Obi, and then Obi-Wan repeats them to Luke. So
Yeah. Twisted Metal on PlayStation 1. Oh, no, Twisted and Evil. But yeah.
Dave Perry. What?
What? But yeah, my point is, if you're gonna read spoilers, you know, be a big boy, be a big person, whatever, and you know, go like, hey, here's what is being said, and I'm gonna roll with it, and then check it out and see if you like it, and if you see it and then you don't like it, fine. But also, if you're gonna say you don't like it, which is fine, you cannot say it breaks canon or this or that if it flat out does not. That right there just actually hurts your point. I think it would be a valid point if everyone does feel this way when all is said and done, to let Lucasfilm knows, you know what? People don't like when you get close to changing conceptions around these core tenets of Star Wars. But what's funny is, I think, in my opinion, the real hotbed issue is Leia.
You know.
And dealing with her and her going on an adventure with Obi-Wan Kenobi throughout the stars. So
But
that's
she's not in the trailer, so we can't confirm it's really there because we don't trust anything Jason says unless it's about a character that we can weaponize against all of our favorites for money. And because she's black, but Leia isn't black, so we're gonna do that. Like, that's why. It's it.
I told you. Oh God.
I like spaceships.
If Reva were wearing a helmet the whole time and you didn't know what she'd look like, I wonder, Jason. Just want to let you know. I wonder. Can't prove it because she isn't, but I wonder.
Yeah, I know. Well, here's what I'll say. Here is we have a message, which is the final word on the topic today about what you just said in Reva.
One of the things that could make this thing the most special thing in the world is that it is a pure CG character.
Ben Affleck sucks.
Fuck yeah, J-Lo. Whatever. Yeah. But anyways, we'll be back tomorrow. Thanks to everyone for hanging out with us today. I appreciate it. Like the video if you haven't already, and make sure you subscribe to the channel. Thank you to our new channel member today, and anyone who becomes a channel member. I really do appreciate you, and I appreciate you supporting this channel and my ability to continue to do it. And we'll be back tomorrow at 11 a.m. and we'll be doing our normal Star Wars jazz. It's what we do around here. But it's what time it is, Max?
Hammer time.
It's the end of the show.
Come on, let's go. Hey!
It's the end of the show.
Come on, let's go. Hey!
It's the end of the show.
Come on, let's go. Hey!
You should go.
Come on, let's go.
It's not about spaceships.